Can you hear me now? Hello, hello. Yes, you can hear me. Great. Oh my God. I don't know why you guys can't see me. There, it must be some kind of situation happening on StreamYard, which is who I stream through. So you'll just hear me for right now until I show you these interviews. But I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time because I have a gang of interviews that I want to show you. And hopefully, by the time I finish the broadcast, you guys will be able to see me. So I'm going to just go ahead and start with the interviews and tell you a few things as we go along. So there's a movie that's out right now called Monster Hunter. It stars T.I., and he is hilarious. I don't want to give too much away about the movie, but basically it's based on a video game, and T.I. and Megan Good are in it, and they play part of a tactical team that comes to this unknown area to attack the monsters and get rid of them so that they don't go into another realm. So that's that. But I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully I'll play this interview for you guys and you'll be able to see and hear it. So here is T.I. from Monster Hunter. What's up, T.I.?
What's happening?
I'm digging this background. It looks all comfy and cozy. Is that like a real background or is it like a screen?
Nah, man, that's really my couch in my studio. I'm in my studio.
That is fly. Your studio is fly. I need to come hang out there.
Come on, man. Super Sound Atlanta, man. Pull up.
So what was the most memorable day that you had doing that? A day that you were just like, oh, I will never forget this day right here.
Man, I think it was probably arriving to Tanqua and realizing like, oh, they really want us to sleep in a tent. On the real ground.
You were like, look, I got this comfy, cozy studio with the sofas, and now y'all want us to sleep in a tent in the desert?
Listen, you don't understand. I think we got, man, listen, Megan, all of us, I was like, yo, hold up. Nah, stop playing. Where the cameras at? You know what I'm saying? I was thinking like, I don't know if I don't know about this one, y'all. Not for real though, bro. And it was like a big spiders found in the tents. I can't sleep around no big spiders, man. I can't do that. I can't do that. Now roaches, okay, perhaps. You know what I'm saying? A couple roaches in now, maybe. Big spiders, nah, I can't do big spider. The hairy kind.
You got me over here crying. You like, look, if I got to choose between a spider and a roach, I'll take a roach all day long.
Take the roach. You know what I mean? It's something I'm familiar with. You know what I'm saying? We got history. Me and the spider don't know nothing about each other. So I slept in the trailer.
Ooh, you got me over here crying. You did not say something I'm familiar with. That was pure comedy.
You know, ooh, Lord. It all come. The pendulum swung both ways with the weather. It was like smoldering heat in the daytime, like 100-degree weather,
and it be freezing at night.
Down to 20 degrees at night. Wind blowing, wind storms, and all kinds of.
You was roughing it like you were in the wild, wild west, huh?
I mean, man, now that I think about it, I definitely was. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I really endured some extreme conditions to bring you this.
You like, look, a brother was suffering to bring y'all some entertainment.
But I mean, it wasn't bad at prison, so I'm not gonna do too much complaining.
Oh gosh, that made me laugh so hard. You are hilarious.
But
yeah,
the movie was worth it. because you can't get those kinds of exterior shots. You can't replicate that anyway.
No, the place where it was all the rocks and things, it was the overhead shots coming into that were absolutely gorgeous. I was kind of sad that they weren't really rocks, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Well, some of them were.
Some of them were, but a lot of them were not.
They just added a couple here and there. You know what I'm saying? But I think that was more for a visual aesthetic, so you wouldn't recognize this particular place from another film.
Right.
It wasn't from a shortage of big rocks, because they was everywhere.
Right. Okay, cool.
Cedarburg, South Africa. Big rocks, big spiders everywhere.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about working with Meagan Good.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal actress, man. You know what I mean? We were roughing it together. You know what I'm saying? I remember, look, it was a time she had her husband there, and I had my wife there, and you know, and we had just got the tank whoop. And I could see both of them looking like, man, we finna get the hell on. We is not the ones filming. We got to go, Jack. You know what I'm saying? He stayed a little longer than my old lady, though. You know, he actually, my old lady,
she roughed it out a little bit longer.
One night, she made it through one night.
Your dog was like, dude,
I don't know. She might have took a quadruple connection to get out there.
Oh my goodness.
She said she would fly coach. I'm willing to fly coach. I said, oh yeah, you serious? Not a baker.
You like just sweet potato pie.
I only do sweet potato pies. I don't do cupcakes or red velvets or, cobblers. I do sweet potato pie and that's it.
Talk to me. This was a delight and it was so much fun. You cracked me up. This was great. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Bye now.
So, there I am. I've actually showed up on the screen. What? Okay, wait. Let me try to back it up. Oh no. Okay, anyway. Let me just talk about T.I. while it's buffering or whatever the hell it's doing. That was so weird that y'all couldn't see me for the longest time. Anyway, T.I. is hilarious. I enjoy talking to him. Monster Hunters is streaming right now, you guys. It is in theaters, and I believe it is streaming as well. So check that out when you get a chance. Now, the next thing I'd like to talk about is a movie called Giving Voices. I love how my face kind of just pops in and out. Let's see if we can make this work another way. Can we do that? Yay! Oh my God, y'all. I don't know what the hell was going on. It was like tech gremlins or some shit, but damn, hey, and I'm back. Woo! I was like, what the hell is going on? Hi, enchanted cinema critic LaFronda. Yes, Meagan Good is very talented. She really, really is. So I have a plethora of interviews for you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and get into it. But the first one I want to talk about, I've talked about this before. I know, woohoo, right? Because it was oh, Jesus. Thank you, Michael B. Y'all are the bomb.com for hanging in there, because I'm like, I don't know why this is not happening. That's a first for Carla. Ooh, Lord. But anyway, if this is your first time joining me, I am Carla Renata. You have tuned into the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. And what we do here is I talk about films and people below and above the line in the film industry. You just watched an interview with T.I., who is in Monster Hunter. And coming up next is a film called Giving Voice. Now, I've talked about this film before. It is a documentary that centers around the August Wilson monologue competition. And usually and normally, that competition would be happening in New York City. But because of COVID, it's not. But this film was filmed way before then. And the kids that are featured in the film are Callie Holly, and Cody Meredith. They were the finalists. So I'll let you, I've talked about the film and reviewed the film before. It's currently streaming on Netflix. It's been streaming there since December 11th. But I want you to hear this interview from this really evolved young actress. Her name is Callie Holly, and she was one of the finalists in the August Wilson monologue competition and featured in the documentary Giving Voice.
Hey, congratulations on the film, Mama.
Thank you so much.
Out of all the monologues that he has, why did you choose the one from the piano lesson?
Immediately, the monologue spoke to me just because I was able to see Bernice as relating to my mom and my grandmother and the women that raised me as single parents who have so much love to give, but who also had a certain agency and autonomy and independence that contributed to the strength that they had and that they taught me. I just could not shake the feeling that I had to speak these words. I had to tell their story, the stories that they poured into me. So that really, Bernice spoke to me in a way that felt like she chose me more than I chose her.
When was the first time that you can remember that you became aware of August Wilson?
First time I came in contact with August Wilson's work was when I saw the movie Fences with Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. I was just blown away and thinking, why don't I learn about this? But why don't white kids learn about this? Why don't all kids learn about this? Because the writing is just so rich. So my first time was in Fences, and that's too late. That's too late. I definitely think that everyone should know who he is, and we should be learning him in school next to Shakespeare.
Absolutely. Talk to me about this competition. When you entered, did you think, I'm not sure how I'm going to do, but I'm just going to give it my all? And were you intimidated at all by some of the other performances? Because as someone who is also an actress, I know sometimes when I go to auditions, I will hear somebody do something or see somebody do something and be like, oh, dang, I don't know if I can pull it off like that, but I'm going to try. Have you ever had those moments as an actor?
I'll definitely be honest with you. I remember the first round of regional, and the girl who did Vera's monologue from 7 Guitars, I was blown away. And I'm not used to seeing other people perform in auditions. I mean, I had never competed in an acting competition. I saw her perform it a few groups before me, and I told my mom, I said, Mom, I don't know if I can do that. What was really remarkable was once we got to national, I never felt like it was a competition. So it's interesting, the nervousness and bit of fearful excitement that I felt at that first competition. As I went through it, just bonds were created, and so much love and support was given surrounding this work that we all cared about and this writing that spoke to all of us.
Have you been able to expand your August Wilson catalog since then?
The prize and reward for all of us at Nationals, we got the Suture Cycle, hard copies, one of my most prized possessions. And then I had the opportunity to take a class last year in college that we did a deep dive and analysis of Gem of the Ocean. And so even though now I've read all the plays, Gem of the Ocean is my absolute favorite. In Gem of the Ocean, there's absolutely the answer that there's a different way to respond to mistakes, that there's the possibility of redemption as opposed to punishment, of rehabilitation, of teaching. And I think in so many of August's plays, he gives us these lessons, he gives us these answers that inspire empathy in people that we don't know, or people that we do know all too familiarly, or that we don't know to look at differently. And then he answers these questions that talk about social norms and political norms, and then does it in just a beautiful way that's just aesthetically pleasing and entertaining. So Gem of the Ocean is my favorite, but all of that richness and depth in and intellect and wit and humor and love and everything that encapsulates the human experience is riddled throughout all of his plays.
Well, look at you, Miss Callie, being the August Wilson dramaturg.
It was such a good class.
Well, look, girl, you are very evolved and way far ahead of your time than I was when I was your age. But I wanted to thank you. I'm so glad that you had that opportunity to experience and perform on the August Wilson Theater stage. I'm looking forward to seeing many great things from you moving into the future. And congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you.
It was lovely talking to you, too.
Out of the mouths of babes. That was Miss Callie Holly, who is featured in Giving Voice. And now I'm going to show y'all a little something from Cody Meredith, who was also a finalist in the documentary on Netflix.
When did you first learn about August Wilson?
I walked into class and my English teacher, it's AP Literature, and he just pulls down the projector and is like, puts up a picture of August Wilson with an amazing quote.
And what made you choose the monologue that you chose for the competition?
The monologue specifically was something that I felt like really spoke to the inner part of African American males, and especially within the time period. My monologue was from a place set in the 80s. In King Hedley II, you see him struggle with these very moral things that would seem obvious, but it's really just the idea of the inner struggle that people go through with what they have. So it was kind of like a human look at what is normally seen as belligerent African American males who just want violence, who don't know any better and things like that. It was kind of like the deeper look at what people go through on the inside and what African American males go through on the inside when they're subjected to certain things.
First of all, how do you go from going, yeah, I've never acted before, but I'm going to enter this monologue competition so I can perform on this Broadway stage?
The biggest thing that drove me to getting on that stage, though, with this being the first real time I was acting, I was scared. So I said I should do it. I don't like to shy away from things that shake me and make me stumble back, because I need to stand up and I need to speak out and be who I am. And to be who I am, if I have to push past that fear of being on stage and people maybe laughing at me and people maybe not resonating with what I'm saying, that's fine.
Cool. This is a very unusual time for the world globally. We can't go to theaters. We can't go to a theater. What has this been like during this time, and what do you miss most about going to the theater?
What I miss most, it's something about being in a room with that much energy and that much attention on one thing, and everybody's just enjoying one aspect of it or making me look at new perspectives. It's just something about being with people within the theater, seeing these amazing scenes, but also relating to each other because of it, like it bringing us closer together.
What advice would you have for somebody that's going to do the competition next year? Somebody like you that's never done it before, that's like, I'm going to shoot my shot.
My advice would be, make sure you follow through. Make sure you put your best foot forward. Make sure you wait. Make sure you listen. And make sure that you do your best. Give it everything you have.
Well, that was Mr. Cody Meredith from August Wilson's Netflix's Giving Voice. You can stream it right now on Netflix. I'm so glad y'all can finally see me. I was having a nervous breakdown. I don't know why it did that. Normally I just push a couple of buttons, but my producer is not here with me today and I'm on my own. And so y'all know how it is when I'm trying to do stuff on my own. It always is shenanigans, but there's that. While we're on the subject of August Wilson, let's talk about a little Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And let me just tell y'all, this is going to be an extended version of the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata today, because I have a plethora of interviews. I have some interviews coming up with the entire cast and creatives of Fatale. I have Nnamdi, who is from Farewell Amore. I have the Gay Men's Chorus in their documentary, Gay Chorus, Deep South. And I also have a preview of Sylvie's Love, which is going to be on Amazon Prime this week. It is going to be epic. It's directed by Eugene, Ashe, and it stars TessaThompson and Nnamdi Asomugha. So there's that. But let's talk a little bit about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Now, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is produced by Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. It stars Viola Davis, Chadwick Boseman, Glenn Turman, Coleman Domingo, Michael Potts are the major characters. And basically this was a play that was on Broadway. It was one of August Wilson's first plays. He has 10 altogether. And this one deals with a real character, not a real character, but a real person, Ma Rainey. And it centers around a recording session that she has this day. Now, if you don't know anything about Ma Rainey was one of those first blues singers who owned her own records. She paid for her own sessions. She was kind of up there in the music industry in terms of being able to call the shots when it came to her recordings and how her sessions went. And a lot of Black people during that time did not have that kind of clout, but Ma Rainey did. So this film and the play centers around a recording session and the shenanigans that surround that particular session. When I tell you Viola Davis is killing it, there's nothing that she can't do. She's not singing. I think someone else is singing for her, but she does a great job regardless. But this film belongs to Chadwick Boseman. It's Chadwick Boseman's last film appearance, and it was filmed before he passed away from colon cancer earlier this year. When I tell you, the boy is probably going to win a posthumous Oscar because this performance culminates everything that he's done up until this point, and it is absolutely epic. And you are going to love him in it. Love him, love him, love him. So there's that. But please check out Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It is streaming on Netflix right now. And after you watch that, go check out Giving Voice, the Netflix documentary dealing with the August Wilson monologue competition. All right, so now let me talk about this film that I love so much called Sylvie's Love. I spoke with the director, Eugene Ashe. I did a Film Independent Q&A. I moderated a Q&A with he and I for Film Independent. So I think you can go to my Instagram page in my link tree that's in there and find the link there. And you can go straight to that interview and see what we talked about in regards to Sylvie's Love. But I talked to him twice in 1 week, in addition to being able to talk to Regina King and Kemp Powers about One Night in Miami. And I'll talk about Kemp Powers a little later on because he has Soul coming out this week. And I want to talk a little bit about Soul because I know that that's Brandon's jam. And I also want to say Brandon and Michael B., during this year, especially during this pandemic, and especially during the switch from Black Hollywood Live over to my own YouTube channel, y'all have been there for me, true blue, all the time. I want to send you something a little special. So if you could please go over to my Instagram page or my Twitter page and send me a DM with your addresses. I have something really special that I'm going to send to you that you're absolutely going to love as a token of my appreciation for you hanging in there with me for this year. All right, so Sylvie's Love. Sylvie's Love is written and directed by Eugene Ashe, like I said, and it's a throwback to like those old Doris Day, Rock Hudson movies, those movies that we would see on television back in the day with white people falling in love and dressing very elegantly and being, you know, very pulled up, but we would never see ourselves in those types of films. Usually in those types of films, Black people were like the maid or the butler or, you know, somebody working in a restaurant and all that. But Eugene Ashe has taken that genre and taken that time in America, specifically in the 60s, and put us in it and made us the center of the story. And this is not only that, but it's a love story. And it's a love story, an unselfish love story, a love story where, you know, there are people in your life that you would do anything for them. You would do anything for them and, you know, put yourself on the back burner so that they could be happy. It's beautiful. And it stars TessaThompson and Nnamdi Asomugha. And he was in another film a little while ago with Lakeith Stanfield that I absolutely loved. But we're talking about Sylvie's Love right now. So I'm going to play the interview with Eugene first, and then right behind it, I'll play the one with Tessa and Nnamdi. Sylvie's Love will be streaming on Amazon Prime beginning December 23rd. So you get a sneak peek into what they have to say about the film. So here's Eugene. Take a look and a listen.
I love Sylvie's Love. It reminds me of those old films that I saw back in the day, like them Doris Day, Rock Hudson joints, but without all the humor. So I need to know who broke your heart that you got all that out in a script on screen.
That's funny. That's funny. Nobody really broke my heart. I just wanted to kind of tell a story about this kind of enduring love when you meet that person that, like, you know, it doesn't matter if 5 years go by, you know, you can just pick right back up where you started. You know, I've been fortunate enough to have people like that in my life.
You could have made this in any time period. It could have been the 60s, it could have been the 70s, it could have even been like the 20s. Why this particular time period to set this story?
Most of the time when we see Black folks depicted in this era, it really focuses on the civil rights movement. And there was so much more going on. You know, we're not monolithic people, and we definitely don't only need to be framed through our trauma. So I was trying to kind of show that we existed and we were there. You know, we created the soundtrack to that era. You know,
yep.
Like all up in the White House with, you know, with Kennedy, you know, performing, and Sammy Davis was a member of the Rat Pack, and
right.
Hope had his own TV show, and Sidney Poitier was winning Oscars. So, you know, clearly there was something else going on. So I just wanted to show that, yeah, we were walking around looking like Doris Day and and Breakfast at Tiffany's too.
I love that. I love that so much. The detail to the costuming and everything was absolutely gorgeous. Last but not least, I wanted to talk to you about, you came from being a record executive to this. What was that draw that made you make that shift?
So that's funny. Actually, I was a recording artist, not an executive. No, that's cool. I was a recording artist on Sony in a band, and I was working on music for television shows and for movies. I was on the Free Willy soundtrack and the Bronx Tale soundtrack. So I had done movies, and I just got intrigued by the process of writing scripts. I had been writing songs, and that's 3 or 4 minutes to tell you a story. And I felt like an hour and a half, 2 hours was I could really get a lot more nuanced if I used that medium instead. So segued into that.
And now that we are in quarantine and we are still dealing with Corona, what have you been doing to pass the time other than, talking about your film? Have you been baking bread?
No. I haven't been baking the banana bread like everybody else. No, I've been writing. I've just been in the lab, just using this time to write my next big one. So I'm excited about that.
Cool. Well, I hope when you write your next big one that you will reach out to the Curvy Critic and let a sister holler at you so we can do another interview, maybe a little longer the next time, and get really into it.
For sure.
Cool. All right, then. Thank you.
Happy holidays to you. Stay safe.
Happy holidays to you too. You stay safe.
Yes, now with the bald head. I remember that was a good movie.
It was a good movie. Loved it. All right, cool. Pete. Got it. I'm Carla Renata, the Curvy Film Critic. Hi, everybody. Hi, Tessa. Hi, Nnamdi. Hey, good to see you again. So for both of you, I want to tell you, this was absolutely fantabulous. It made me long for a relationship so bad. It's been so long since I've had one. I was like, I want somebody to love me like that. Where's my forever love? Where you at? But having said that, what is your favorite classic film? Because this was truly like a throwback situation, and I'll let ladies go first with Tessa.
Please.
Well, I love, we were talking about today. What, Nnamdi?
Did you say classic? I have to get my study.
Classic film.
Classic film.
So many films. A lot of the films that were reference points for this movie. I love Love and Basketball. I love Paris Blues. I love When Harry Met Sally. I love When Harry Met Sally. One of my favorite.
Me too.
So many great love stories. What about you, Nnamdi? I know you love this question.
Yeah, I do love this question. So I've been trying to compile a list of love stories, but what Carla said, classic film. She did not say love story. So this is an easy one for me because of the time period that we're in. On Christmas Eve, It's a Wonderful Life plays all day in my house. So I'm gonna go with It's a Wonderful Life, and I got out of that one. Thank you.
Oh, you funny. I can't mess with It's a Wonderful Life. It makes me get in the ugly cry. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I really can't. Both of your characters kind of suffer from a little bit of pride. Yeah. Pride from sacrificing for themselves, sacrificing for other people, sacrificing for everything that they love. Have either one of you been in a situation where you felt like you had to do that for somebody that you loved, that you wanted to get out of their way to make their lives better, or get in their way to make their lives better? And this time I'll go with you, Nnamdi.
Oh yeah, absolutely. First thing that comes to mind is someone close to me, I'm not going to say his name, but someone close to me that was a roommate while they needed to get back on their feet, but they never got back on their feet. You know what I mean? So it was like a year later, and it's like, hold on. I need to help you here. I know this is going to be rough, but you got to go out on your own. And that's the first thing that came to my mind, because that is sort of sacrificing you know, the relationship, because I know that it's not going to be the same. And, you know, and this is a relative. So that was it. But, you know, then he found his way. And so I hope I helped.
It sounds like you did. What about you, Tessa?
Yeah, that's nice. That's that tough love.
I hope you don't.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly, I can't think of any instances because my cold heart is not melty yet. I haven't had my coffee, but I definitely, you know, I think there's this idea, which actually love stories probably don't help any with this, but this idea that love is an affliction is something that just happens to you involuntarily. And while I think the experience of romantic love can feel that way, I think the true act of love is something that takes a tremendous amount of choice, that we have the ability to choose how to love folks. And so I love that Sylvie and Robert are trying to find a way to love each other that is selfless. When they say to each other, Robert says, I wanted you to be happy, even if it meant that I couldn't be a part of it. Like that to me, that's the kind of love that I am, you know, trying to cultivate in my life with my romantic partner, with my friends and family. And it's the kind of love that I hope you find. I want someone to come over there and stroke your curls and give you that kind of love. I think it is the kind of love that we all deserve.
And I think that is a great note to end on. It was so wonderful to see both of you again. I love the film. I love both of you, and I'll keep championing you as much as I possibly can in the future.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, no problem. Get that coffee, Tessa.
You know, here it is. I just didn't want to drink it.
Okay, I kept trying to click back over after she finished talking, but you know, I'm having gremlin technical issues today. But you guys, the film is really beautiful. And that other film that Nnamdi is in that I really loved is called Crown Heights with him and Lakeith Stanfield. So I want to make sure that you see that in addition to seeing Sylvie's Love. Again, Sylvie's Love is on Amazon Prime on December 23rd. Woohoo! Yes. Now let's talk a little bit about some Soul, because I know this is Brandon's jam. Soul is a film that stars Jamie Foxx, the voices of. So it's an animated Pixar film, and it stars Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey, Felicia Rashad rather, Angela Bassett, Questlove, and a plethora of other people. But what I want to tell you about Soul is that it centers around Jamie's character, who is Joe. And Joe is a jazz musician who has relegated himself to teaching. He's teaching in schools now, and he's lost his passion for music, you know, after many, many years of teaching, and is now transported out of his body and has to find his way back with the help of an infant soul who's voiced by Tina Fey, learning about herself. Now, the thing that is interesting about this film is that I love that I believe, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I believe this is the first time Pixar has centered a story around African Americans. Not only that, but they're infusing jazz into the story because Joe wants to be a jazz musician and has mad skills on the piano, right? So they looked at composer John Baptiste to help with the arrangements, along with Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. So they consulted them. Thank goodness. You know, this is what I'll say about Pixar and Disney. They do their research when it comes to doing their films, and they make sure that they have everything covered. The scenes where it's Joe and there's a black barbershop scene that is going to make y'all howl. But the scenes with the black animated characters, I wish that Pixar had just made a film of just that, because what it looks like right now is a film that's kind of like half of Inside Out mixed with this other film. And I feel like if they had just centered it on one thing, it would have made for a better viewing experience for me. I liked it. I didn't love it. So there's that. But what I did love is that I told y'all about Kemp Powers. Kemp Powers is the director. No, I'm sorry, not the director, the writer of One Night in Miami, which is directed by Regina King. He's also the co-director of Soul, along with Pete Docter. And he also wrote the screenplay for Soul with Mike Jones, and it's produced by Dana Murray. So It starts streaming on Christmas Day. It's light and fluffy. It's thoroughly entertaining, but it's not like, ooh, it's such a great movie. It's not that. It is fun. It's fun. You'll enjoy it. It's fun to sit down with the kids. You'll love the animation. They got New York City, mwah, perfection, right on the money with everything they did with New York City and how they animated it. They really, really did. But I love Pixar and I love Disney. Y'all know this. If you've watched my broadcast and podcast for any period of time, you know that I'm a huge Disney fan and a huge Pixar fan, and I'm always talking about their animated features on my podcast. This one just didn't resonate with me as great as I would have liked for it to. So that is Pixar's Soul, which will be streaming on Christmas Day. Now, let me get to another interview. Now, I had talked about this thing called Farewell Amore a little while ago, and this actor that's in it. And I didn't have time to show his interview because I showed the director's interview before, and I just ran out of time from all the other interviews that I had before. But there is this situation in Farewell Amore where it's just all about these sheets. And so every time I talk to somebody associated with the film, I'm talking about these sheets. So just take a look and a listen to my interview with Ntunde Guma Mabaho Mawani from Farewell Amore.
Farewell Amore is such a beautiful love story on all different counts. It's love of self, it's love of family, it's love of women, it's love of humans, it's support, it's struggling, it's all of that. What was it other than what I mentioned? And you can say that it was what I mentioned too. About the script that made you go, I have to be a part of this project?
Because love is what makes the world go round, you know? And there's nothing like love, you know, the complications in wrestling with love and letting go of love and rekindling love. Those are all things that, you know, make great stories for generations and generations. And for me, I really felt that this was a classic love story. And a chance to play this was just a dream. Because he struggles to let go of a love that he's found, that he's kept a secret from his wife and his daughter. And we see just that in itself, how challenging it is. He keeps their sheets that they shared together in the house with his wife.
I know. I was like, what is up with the sheets and hiding them in the closet behind the shelf? I was like, brother, come on now. Come on.
Did you want him to let it go? What did you want him to do?
I don't know what I wanted him to do. I really don't. I was, you know, there's this moment where you come back in the house, your daughter sees you, and you say, I'm just taking out the trash.
Yeah.
And she's looking at you, and for whatever reason, I took that to mean it was like a double entendre to me. It was like, in their eyes, in your daughter's eyes, in Sylvia and Esther's eyes, this other woman is trash. But to you, she's just another human being that you love. And I just wanted to get your thoughts about that. Did that cross your mind at all with that line, or it was just a line for you?
Well, I think it's about the sheets. And so for him, up until that point, those sheets were sacred. They had history and resonance, and they were too complicated for him to keep in the house. And he realized that he had to discard them, and they had to become trash. So they were no longer sacred and important. So he throws them out. So that really did resonate because it showed that he had made a choice and he'd chosen his family first. But what's so interesting is just a few moments later, Admiral Esther, the wife, discovers those sheets in the trash.
Ooh, that moment, baby. Ooh, that moment. I was all over this film like a bad rash. Let me just tell you, that moment when y'all have been doing the do, and he looks up and he sees them sheets.
I mean, you just come to terms with their trash, and now they're back in the bed.
Okay. I was like, they were having a moment. Everything was about to be good in the hood, and then here come them damn sheets.
Well, it just goes to show you can't let go. Sometimes you know, as much as you try to let go of something or let go of a love, it still has its way of finding its way back into your, into your heart.
I was involved with somebody once where he used to always say to me, he says, "You're in my blood." And I feel like that was the situation with Walter.
Yeah.
All of these women were in his blood, whether they were his family blood or not.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm a huge fan of your work, and I'm an even huger fan of you after speaking with you today. Thank you so very much for taking time out to talk to me. I wholeheartedly appreciate it, and much luck to you in the future. And I'm hoping we can do this again real soon.
We'll do this again, and maybe we'll get to do it on the continent somewhere.
I would love that. I'm telling you, I'm like Laurel, baby, my bags are packed. Don't
All
play.
right, let's do it. Me too.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I loved, y'all know I loved talking to him because it was fun. It was light and fluffy and it was fun. What you gonna say? But Farewell Amore, you can watch it right now on YouTube for $6.99. It's produced by IFC Films. It's written by Ekwa Masangi. And you can also find the interview that I did with her and Jamie Lawson, her leading lady, on my YouTube channel as well. Somewhere down there, you can find that. So that is Farewell Amore. It's been streaming since December 11th. The next film I want to talk to you guys about is a documentary called Gay Chorus Deep South. I was intrigued by this documentary because the Gay Men's Chorus decided that they was going to take a tour through the South and do concerts. And I'm like, ooh, child, that's a situation. I don't know how that's going to play out, but good luck to y'all on that one. But I want you to take a look and a listen to the interview that I did with the director and the two choir masters that are featured in the film, Tim and Terrance. Here you go.
I come from the Midwest. I'm from Missouri. And so when you guys said you were going through the South, I'm like, y'all need to go through the Midwest is where you need to go. You need to hit Missouri. That's where you need to hit. But why the South, and was the purpose for the film to bridge that divide using music? I'll go with David first.
Yeah, that was exactly the purpose of the film. When the 2016 election happened, I was very shook by not just the result of the election, but by the divisiveness that kind of surfaced through the country, and that has gotten, to epic proportions today. And I was looking for stories that had that could test those waters of the divisiveness and that had a chance to create some sort of bridge. And when I learned that the San Francisco Chorus and the Oakland Choir were going to do a tour to the South, I knew they were, that was the only story that I saw that had a chance of creating some sort of blueprint for creating dialogue and a path forward to bridging that divide.
Why the choice to open the film with the men singing and doing those extreme close-ups on each individual face? Because we saw every color, every size, every shape, every age of all of these men that culminated in these choirs. Was that to bring home the point of, look, there is no thing that gay looks like. Gay doesn't have a particular face. It doesn't have a particular energy. We're human beings. We're people.
Yeah, wow, that's a great question, and the answer is yes. Any film you make, the opening and the ending are the two hardest parts the two hardest nuts to crack. And in this case, the opening was the hardest, and we went through many iterations, some using news stories, intercutting with that song. I always wanted to open with that song, but how we portrayed that song and how we, the first seconds of the film are crucial, right? Those are the moments that are going to tell you what ride you're in for, And then when me and our editor, Jeff Gilbert, were, trying to figure it out, I kind of went back to the emotion that I felt the very first day we started filming the San Francisco Chorus, and we went to their rehearsal. And I'll never forget seeing the close-ups that our director of photography, Adam, was doing while they were singing. And that touched me because those faces singing those songs tell the whole story. Yeah, you don't need to say anything else. And it kind of ties back to what you were saying, and you're literally the first person that says that, because that was the exact intent. So thank you. I'm very touched by that. from the very first meeting we had with Tim and Chris and Terrance about the film, I said I didn't want to make a film about a tour. I didn't want to make a film about a chorus. I wanted to make a film about people. You know, people from the San Francisco chorus, people from the Oakland choir, meeting with people from the South. And that was the true intent, and that was the heart that we put into making this film of bringing people together.
There were I don't remember now how this phone call happened, but there was a phone call from somebody trying to discourage y'all from touring the South. And he went on a rant about how it wasn't wanted. You're not going to change our minds.
Well, acceptance will only come with knowledge and personal experience.
That was perfectly said. Yeah.
Thank you.
That was perfectly said. Terrance, what would you like to add to that?
Love. Love will do it.
Yes. You guys said in the film, a song, all anybody needs is a song in love. Y'all said that in the film.
Music leads people to that point.
Yeah.
You know, to Terrance's point, I think through listening, you're able to find love, because the opposite of love isn't hate, right? The opposite of love is fear. And what discrimination really is just fear, you know, because once they get to know that person, and once they get to create, you know, some sort of form of affection and love, you know, that bridge will be completed and finally made.
I didn't know until I saw this film that it was the film I needed right now.
Oh.
That's the best thing I can say. And I don't think I can expound on it any further than that. So thank you so much, Terrance, Timothy, and David, for taking time.
Thank you so much, Carla.
To speak to me. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well.
Bye.
Now, what y'all didn't see at the beginning of that interview was Tim was like, he says, "Oh, I am so gay for your room." He said, is that a virtual background? He was like, "Is that real?" I'm like, "Yes, boo, it's real. It's all that in a bag of chips." But he had me cracking up. But Gay Chorus Deep South. It is directed by David Charles Rodrigues, who was speaking on camera. Tim Seelig rather, is one of the choir masters, and Terrance is the choir master for the Oakland Interfaith Choir. Y'all, this is it's like I said in the interview, I didn't know I needed to see this film until I saw it. So check it out when you have an opportunity. It will be streaming. It's produced by MTV Studios, and it'll be streaming on It'll be streaming on the Pop and Logo channels this week. So check it out. It's called Gay Chorus Deep South. All right. Now, you know I had to save the best for last. Y'all know I had to save the best for last. And yes, Brandon, I did see your pictures of Bunny and Burrow. And Burrow is a short film that they're going to show right before they show Soul, and it's really great. You guys will love it, so check that out as well. It's a cute little film. It's not any dialogue, and it's about this little bunny who's trying to build his house, and he has shenanigans and issues. But check that out when you get a chance. It's really, really cool. I loved it so much. Now there's this film that's coming out. It's called Fatale. I've talked about this film a lot. I've interviewed Deon Taylor a lot on this show. I talk about him all the time. He has these films that are these crazy, crazy, crazy films. I always find myself jumping at the films and acting out at the films because he has a formula. Just like Tyler Perry has a formula to his stuff, Deon Taylor has a formula to his films as well. And his films, especially his suspenseful thrillers, they always kind of like catch you off guard. And child, I was screaming at the screen in my room because we can't go to theaters. Screaming at the screen in my room. But Fatale is directed and written by Deon Taylor. It stars Hillary Swank and MichaelEaly and Mike Coulter. Luke Cage, yes, baby. It stars the three of them in this movie. And when I tell you Hillary Swank is doing her thing, Hillary Swank is doing her thing. But I sat down and I talked to Hillary, I talked to Deon, I talked to Mike, and I talked to MichaelEaly. So I'm going to play MichaelEaly first because this is the thing. I interviewed MichaelEaly once before. And when I interviewed MichaelEaly, it was 2 years ago, and it was a set visit for Fatale. And when I said that my handle was the Curvy Critic, he busted out laughing. And I was like, really, MichaelEaly, you just gonna laugh at me like that? And he laughed and he laughed and he laughed, because he was like, I'll never forget you. That name, I will never forget that name. That is great branding, he said to me. So when I interviewed him this time, I was, because they interview with so many different people, you don't expect them to actually remember you, right? Because they do like, I don't know, like 10 interviews in an hour. How could they possibly remember everybody that they talk to? But this is what MichaelEaly had to say at the beginning of the interview, and then we talked about his role in Fatale. So take a look and a listen to my boy MichaelEaly, who I'll never forget when we talked to him about Fatale.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Carla. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too. I told you I'd never forget you, and I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, all right then. I appreciate that. I really do. I was expecting you to giggle though this time when I said the Curvy Critic.
No. I told you, based on that name, I'd never forget you.
Oh, I appreciate you. So in Fatale, you play the hunted as opposed to being the hunter. And I know there's been some films where you've been the opposite. So which do you prefer better, being the hunted or being the person that's doing the hunting?
I would say I prefer to hunt. Yeah, I prefer to hunt. This was nice though. I mean, if you're going to be hunted by anybody, I think Hillary Swank is one to be hunted by. But I definitely, playing a villain is always much more fun. Much more fun.
Why exactly? Because you get to do things that you wouldn't normally do?
Yeah, the handcuffs are off. You can actually, you don't have that moral compass that kind of binds the protagonist most times. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a little bit more fun. It's probably a bit more reckless, obviously, and that's always a little bit more fun to be a little bit more reckless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. So choices. In this film, Derek makes some really bad choices, right? That have him being in a precarious set of circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
In The Intruder, which is another film, your wife was making the bad choices. How important do you think it is when it comes to choices in these types of situations?
You know what? I'd like to reframe the question, and here's why.
Oh, go right ahead.
I think we all make bad choices, right? The connection between The Intruder and this one is bad judgment.
Okay.
Right? So in my opinion, in The Intruder, Megan Good, Annie, she played Annie, and Annie had bad judgment. You know what I mean? I did not like him. She thought, he's this. So, she had this kind of bad judgment.
The voice.
I think me personally in Fatale, I think for someone who prides himself on being successful and doing it the right way, I exhibited some bad judgment while in Vegas, and the repercussions were electrifying, if you will. They were catastrophic.
Yes.
They were catastrophic repercussions for sure.
Yeah, what happened in Vegas definitely didn't stay in Vegas that particular time.
My bad.
Yep. And we're in quarantine. What has been your favorite? I know you've probably been watching some movies, chilling, baking, possibly cooking. What has been your favorite thriller to watch?
My favorite, like, kind of campy action flick was what was that Chris Hemsworth movie? Extraction.
Okay. You have a smile on your face with that one.
Yeah,
cool.
That was fun.
Cool. Well, thank you for playing along with me today, MichaelEaly. I'll never forget you either. And I appreciate you taking time to talk to me.
I appreciate it. You have a great holiday, okay?
You too. Happy holidays to you as well.
All right.
Bye.
I don't know why I get flustered when I'm talking to MichaelEaly. I don't know if it's the blue eyes. I don't know if it's because he said he remembered me. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just get all flustered and verklempt, and it's just not a good situation for me. But thank you, MichaelEaly. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to talking to you the next time. And hopefully the next time I talk to you, I won't be cheesing so hard and be all verklempt and a hot buttered mess. So there's that. But I'm going to play these 2 interviews back to back for you guys. And then I'm going to get on up out of here. I had a lot of interviews for you. I didn't want to leave you hanging because this will be the last live broadcast that I'm going to do for 2020. I will be back on January 3rd live and have a whole bunch of news and stuff for you then. And I'm rebranding. So the show is going to look really different when I come back. We'll have some segments. We'll have lots of different things. And I don't want to tell you what it is. You'll just see it when we come back on January 3rd. But I'm going to play these last 2 interviews for you. I'm going to talk to Mike Colter about his role in Fatale. And I'm going to talk to Deon Taylor and Hillary Swank, and I'm going to play them back to back. So take a look and a listen to Mike Colter, who plays in Fatale.
So we have something in common. We're both Virgos.
Okay.
You're an August Virgo. I'm a September Virgo.
Okay.
And I just wanted to get your opinion on what Virgo quality do you think you brought to the character of Rafe for Fatale?
Oh, you're testing my horoscope skills now. Man. Well, I guess we didn't get a chance to see his apartment, but I would think, or his house, I would think he probably keeps things in order. I don't think I'm typical Virgo in that way. Maybe I'm on the cusp because I can be messy, but not dirty. You know, like I can leave stuff laying around a little bit sometimes and I can see myself and clean that up. It's not, so I like to see things in order because it does affect the way I think. I mean, I don't have OCD, but I do like things in somewhat order. I'm not compulsive about it. I'm not, you know, it's not out of control, but sometimes I look at things, you know, if it's in my view, I have to straighten it out. I think that's one of the Virgo traits. They're neat people. I think, and they,
yes,
I think
we're neat people.
Yeah, I think they remember things. They forgive, but they don't forget, something like that.
That's true. That is definitely a Virgo quality right there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's one of those things. It's like, I think Ray probably, he probably owed Derek something from back in the day. I'm not sure what happened, but I think him and Derek had some beef back in the day. He just gave him.
Yeah, him and Derek had something going on for sure. So I know that you were cast in $1 Million Baby, which was another Hillary Swank film. This is like a full circle moment for you, right?
Yeah, well, I like to look at it as an infinity. You know, the loop, the 8 loop. So it's like, you know, it's a full circle because full circle implies that it's just you reach the end. But or maybe full circles like to go all around and around. Infinity is kind of cross sections, and you come back around again, and you cross sections. If you work long enough, you just keep working together, but you're kind of constantly, you know, going around and around. So
I like that ideology. I like that quite a bit. And you have 2 daughters. So how has it been having 2 daughters that you love and adore in quarantine? In quarantine, and how has voiceover work been coming your way in addition to that?
Well, I did some voiceover work in the beginning. I finished up, you know, Tiny Creatures and at the beginning of the pandemic. But you know, I think voiceover actors have been probably, I don't know what their life has been like, but I'm pretty sure that they've gotten more work, I'm assuming, than they've gotten before because of the pandemic. But my daughters, you know, one of them just turned 2 a couple months ago, and I got to tell you, you know, terrible 2s. They didn't make that up. I mean, she's a firecracker. And you're in a house. It's like she was, oh my gosh, she was 14 months when this started or something like that or whatever. And you know, you're at the peak of the fun, put it that way. You know, peak of the fun. All she, you know, her main thing is, no, I don't want to do that, or why? Why do I have to do that? Why? And all of a sudden, overnight, she's speaking complete sentences. So I don't know, you know, she went from putting words together, but now it's just complete sentences with motivation, questioning, just not the same kid overnight. And it's just like, well, what do you say? Because there's no repercussions, you know. This day and age, you just have to like bargain with them. I don't know what to do. With them.
I'm sure you'll figure it out. We got a lot more time for that. I just wanted to tell you, I enjoyed you so much in Fatale and all your other projects. I'm a huge fan, and thank you for taking time to speak to me today. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it too. Thank you so much.
All right then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so hey, y'all. Hey. So I want to know first and foremost from Hillary, was it cathartic for you to play somebody so villainous? Because
yeah, actually, it's kind of fun when you get permission to be villainous. Heck yeah. You know what? You're like, I'll step into that and get paid to do that and have fun doing that. Yeah.
And I need to know what this conversation was like when Deon called and said, so listen, I want you to play a villainous cop. And you were like, hell yeah. What was that conversation like?
This is how it happened. I was trying to get her information. Finally, somebody gave it to me and they was like, you can meet Hillary Swank. Here's the location. So I like go down to the location. I get to the back of this alley and she's in the limousine. I open the door of the limousine and she's sitting in the back like this.
Yeah, me in the back of a limousine, the trailer park girl in the back of a limousine going, come meet me here.
And she's like, make it fast. I have things to do. Anyways, I met her at a restaurant. In 3 minutes, we fell in love with each other. She was so beautiful. She was so dope. It was everything that I thought she would be. And here I am independently pitching her a film. You know what I mean? And what was so great, man, was, you know, me coming to her independently. She was like, man, I love independent films, i.e. Boys Don't Cry. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. That's right. Me and you come from the same type of world. And we just fell in love, man. The next thing I know, we were on set with MichaelEaly and Dante Spinotti. And look, we was just having fun, man. And this lady right here is, I think she's nothing short of being brilliant in this film.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed you in it immensely. One last question I want to ask Hillary. You know, I know you did a lot of stunt work for this, and I'm pretty sure the stunt work was really different for this being thrown around the room as opposed to punching when you were doing $1 Million Baby. Could you just speak to that for a second?
Yeah, you know, the thing is, stunt work is stunt work. Whether you're getting throwing a punch, taking a punch, getting thrown to the ground, getting your hair pulled, it's all choreography, and you know, it's all got to be kind of mapped out so that safety first and no one gets hurt, especially when you're wielding weapons around and stuff. So the set was super professional. Everyone was all like brought up to speed on how to do everything. So you figure it out, but you don't leave without some bumps and bruises for sure.
Oh, girl, I felt your pain. I really did. I did. I felt your pain. Well, you guys, that is my time. I thank you so much for making time for me. Deon, I got to say something.
I got to say something. First, I love you. Secondly, you're incredible. Thirdly, I want to just say this about the stunt work. That really is Hillary with a shotgun shooting full loads at 4:00 in the morning on this movie. And, oh, by the way, the last day of photography, I won't spoil it, but she has a scene where she almost broke her hand swinging multiple times. I'm talking about her hand was completely swollen, black and blue. And she was like, you want me to do one more time? And I'm like, no, because you're not going to have no hand if you do it. Anyways, I just want to say, independent film is great, man. And when people are committed, it's even better. And we love you. Thank you.
I love you, Black. She ain't got 2 Oscars for nothing. I'm just saying.
Bam!
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
I had so much fun talking to them. They were crazy. Oh my God, they were crazy. I love you too, Deon. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I support you as well. Hillary Swank, thank you for your time and your graciousness. I love that you just kept it real. You were like, yeah, the trailer park girl sitting in the trailer. Y'all, Fatale is crazy as hell. It's a nice little thriller. If you want, get some popcorn. Today is National Sangria Day. Get you a cup of sangria. Get you some popcorn and sit and chill and work it out. But they're not going to have it on video demand until January 8th. It's in theaters, though, as of December 18th. It was in theaters as of December 18th. So just to wrap it up, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom on Netflix, Giving Voice on Netflix. Don't forget to check out Small Acts on Amazon Prime. Steve McQueen aired his last episode of that called Education on December 18th. There's a documentary by Bruce Springsteen called Letter to You. You guys really want to check that out. It's a great, great, great documentary. And you also want to check out News of the World. Tom Hanks is in it, and he is crushing it. It is coming to you on Christmas Day. You can stream that as well. And yeah, and Fatale. Don't forget about Fatale. Fatale. All right, so until 2021, I can't believe I'm saying 2021. But right before I say that, I want to thank y'all from the bottom of my Grinch heart for coming here and hanging with me. I'm sorry I had technical difficulties today. I usually have somebody do the show for me. She is traveling to visit her family and wasn't able to do it. And I'm like, I got this. And clearly I did not, but I did the best that I could. But I was able to bring you all of the interviews, and I'm really happy about that. I will, between now and the first of the year, when I come back on January 3rd, I will roll out some old interviews. They'll be on my Instagram page. They'll be on Facebook. They'll be on Twitter. They'll kind of be everywhere, so that you guys can enjoy some things that you may have missed, that you may not have seen from me. And I will replay some of these interviews as well. I also want to remind you that Monster Hunter is out, so you can stream that. Farewell Amore, you can stream that as well. And you guys, it's been so great having you here. Brandon and Michael, please do not, yes, thank goodness this year is almost over, because it has been a lot. But Brandon and Michael, like I said at the beginning of the show, I have things that I would like to give you as avid, loyal, brave supporters of mine with the Curvy Critic here, and I appreciate you so much for that. For those people that joined me that have never been here before, I am Carla Renata, the Curvy Critic. You have joined the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata here on YouTube. It will stream later on Facebook Live and on LinkedIn. Please give me a big thumbs up to let me know you were here. Click that bell for notifications and subscribe to the channel so that you won't ever have to wonder when I'm going live, if I have a guest, who the guest is, yada, yada, yada. And I will roll. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll out on December, sometime during the week, through December 25th. I can't talk. In addition to having technical difficulties, I can't even talk. I'm going to give you my top 10 Christmas movies. So I'm going to roll out 2 today, and there'll be 2 every day until Christmas Day. My top 10 Christmas throwbacks. I will show you those. Don't forget to send me that information. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and anything else that anyone else is celebrating. I wish you the very best. I'm glad that we all made it through 2020 thus far. Let's pray and hope that 2021 is a better year, a year with not as much drama and intrigue, and that we can all move forward in our lives, and hopefully we will be able to move forward with light and love. This is your girl, Carla Renata, the Curvy Film Critic. I thank you. I love you. And it's been my pleasure to bring you news and reviews and interviews for the movies that have dropped in 2020. Happy holidays, Kazuza, Brandon, and Michael. Happy holidays to you as well. It's been my pleasure to talk to you, and I will see you next time. Deuces.